Okay, so last time that we were here, we got the um, eyelids to blink. So what I want to do is something a little bit different today, and let's do the eyes. And the eyes will be a little bit more difficult. So let's get right on that. And we're going to start out with our servo constraint tool. And we're going to go ahead and, where's my cable? Plug that in. Download. Okay, so let's plug this in to the power, and there we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the eyelids up. Hello, Henry. Oh, that's Sophie. Hello, Sophie. $120, that should be enough. Okay. Excuse me, Sophie. So now let's go to the eyes. Where were we? Let's see what we got here. Rotation, elevation, blink, eyes. All right, let's set those eyes to 90 degrees. Thank you for that, Sophie. Okay, so now they're at 90 degrees. And let's go for one side to see how far we can get. We want to get all the way over to where the eyes are just touching the edge. I'm going to go with 70. I think 70 is a good number. All right. So we don't need this anymore. Let's get out of here. And I'm going to go over to this project. Simple Blink is where we left off. And what I want to do is I want to make a copy of that. And I'm going to make this Simple Eyes. Duplicate that. Okay, I think we're back to where we were. All right. I'm going to set the eyelids to eyelids up. That's true still. We've got this function, but we just found out that eyes left, and this is left as I'm looking at our robot. So eyes left, and that is 70 degrees. Thank you, Sophie, for marking that. I appreciate it. All right. Come back over here with us, Sophie. Oh, you're leaving. Go back to 90. And then we're going to go up so the eyes are touching on the right side as we look at the robot. Hello, Sophie. Oh, that was Excuse me there, Sophie. All right, so as you can see, I've set it so the eyes are now on the right, and we look at what our display says. Oh, thank you for being so friendly. Yes, you are very friendly today. Yes, you are. Such a good cat. And we are at 112. Okay, 112. So let's come back to this. And we're going to create a variable. Call it eyes right. $112. Okay. So now we're going to create a function. Remember, we're creating an abstraction for our servos. And we're going to say set eyes to, give it a number and call it angle. And that's the same as set eyelids to. So set eyes to some angle. And we can go ahead and we can copy that. We already have. And then make a change. So the eyes are servo 6. And we want eyes left is the lower number. And eyes right is the higher number. So there we have that. Oh, hi, Sophie. Okay, now, this is where there's a little bit of complication that comes in. And that is the little bit of slop in the servo mechanism. The linkage as you may recall, these are our linkages. Oh, you can't see that. These are our linkages. And they have a loop at the end and a hook here that hooks to our servo arm. Okay, test that for me, will you? And because this hook has to rotate freely around, or the loop at the end has to rotate freely around the hook, it's usually not completely the right size. It's not very, very close to being the right size. So as we can see here, you can see that that loop has a little bit of play in it. It can go up and down a little bit because the loop is larger than the paper clip that acts as a hook. So it can wobble back and forth a little bit. And that doesn't usually matter on things like the head, because the head is always heavy enough that it pulls it to one side of that loop. But the eyes aren't like that. So we're going to move these back now till we find the eyes get to the center. That looks centered to me, and that is 90 degrees. So come back over here. Make a variable. So center from right. And I guess I should say eyes center from right. So if our eyes are to the right, meaning as we look at our robot, if they're on the right side, to get to the center, we need to move to 90 degrees. Okay, now we're going to go past the center. Hello, how are you? Keep moving, just keep moving. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and over to the left with the eyes, and then we're going to come back to the center. There it is. And that is 94 degrees. So there's 4 degrees of play in that linkage. And we know what to do. Center. What'd you do? What'd you do there, kitty? Try that again. Now, this time, no, you're not allowed to type. So if our eyes are to the left and we want to make our eyes go to the center, we need to go to 94 degrees. And again, that's because the loop around the hook is not exactly the same size. So there's a little bit of play in there when it's pulling against the loop versus when it's pushing against the loop. That loop has to go to either side, and there's 4 degrees of turn in our servo to get from pushing to pulling, if you can see what I mean. All right, so now we've got some code to write. So we've got call set eyelids up. Let's go ahead and set our eyes, and it doesn't really matter which one. Well, actually what we want to do is I'm going to set eyes to the left. We're going to pause, and then we're going to set our eyes center from left. So when our robot wakes up, he or she is going to turn their eyes to the left, and then we're going to bring them back to center using the correct number of degrees to do that. Okay, now let's put this, let's take our on logo pressed, and we're going to move this over to the on logo. So from now on, the logo will do a blink. And let's look at what we want to do with button A, button B, and button A plus B. So since button A is on the left side, we want button A to send the eyes over to the left. So let's make a call for it. And let's use our constant here, which are eyes left. For B, B is on the right. Let's go to the right. And now we've got a problem. A plus B, we want that to be the center, but there's two different centers that it could be at. And what we're going to do for that is create a function. I'm going to create a function, and I'm going to call it eyes center. And what I want is for this eyes center to calculate which center I want. Now, in order to do that, I need to know where the eyes were the last time. So I'm going to create a variable called current eyes. And that is where the eyes are going to be set each time. Now, because I've made this promise to myself that I'm only going to set the eyes using this function, I know that all I have to do is save it here at this one place. And there we go. Save it in this one place, and I will catch it whoever calls it, I will catch and set the current eyes to where it needs to be. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's collapse this as well. So what is the center? Where is the center? Let's see. So I'm going to use some logic. I'll pull over if then else. And I want to know if the current location is to the left or right of these two centers. So first, let's check. Logic, there you are. And I want to know, is current eyes less than the lowest one, eyes from right? And the other condition is going to be our current eyes greater than eyes from the left, because that's the larger of the two. So this is going to tell me if my eyes are to the left or my eyes are to the right. And for each of those, I want to return something different. So we're going to go down here. We're going to grab this return, and it's going to give us an error because we don't have it everywhere. We need it. Now, if the eyes are to the left, we want to return eyes center from the left. If the eyes are to the right, we want to return eyes center from the right. Now, otherwise, we're going to go ahead and return current eyes because we don't need to move it. If the eyes are already in the center, what are you talking about? We don't need to move it. So we just give you back where your eyes already are. So there. Okay. So when we push button A and B, we're going to call set the eyes, but not to a constant. we're going to come over here. We're going to look in the functions, call eyes center. So what this is going to do is it's going to call this function and say, hey, what is the center? Where do I need to move the eyes for them to be centered? And that's going to be one of these two, eyes from left or eyes from right, depending on where the eyes are right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and download that. Still helping me? Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, let's download this. There we go. Plug it in. Did that do what we wanted it to? Yes, it did. You saw the eyes move and then center themselves. Okay. So let's press the A button. Oh, thank you, Kitty. I know this robot likes you too. B button. Oh, I touched the logo. Or at least I thought I did. There we go. All right, so there's the B button. Let's do A plus B. There it is. Let's go to A. Let's do A plus B. There we go. Eyes are to the center. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing today. So thank you for watching. Thank you to Sophie for helping. Such a big help. Yes, you are. And next time, we'll be doing some more coding. Okay, thank you. Bye.